Shove it, man!
Shove it, squad, who's ready for some Attitude Era wrestling? And boy, have I found the show for you. It's the return of the How Bad Can It Be belt. Smack yourself one until it's felt. I'm on a quest to find the worst wrestling show in history, which is currently held by a WCW show, Nitro, from May 1st, 2000. It features no good matches, Tank Abbott and David Arquette all over the show, no comedy and a half-dead roster. For some reason, people only ever request WCW shows for me to watch, but there's no need to be pissed, because today here's an episode of WWF for the list. Today's video was a Patreon request by Tyler John. If you want to make the Hawk talk, sign up today. Before we start, just a quick word on my last video. Maybe I shouldn't deal with modern wrestling anymore because the Hawk just gets hate. I really thought my last video was a highly entertaining watch, it took me a lot of time to make it. It's something completely different to my usual content where I build my own storylines to try and save TNA. I don't understand why we can't have a different brand of wrestling anymore. If you're so sure that it has to all be one way, doesn't that make wrestling a dictatorship nowadays? The video led to people calling me the modern day Vince Russo. If we can get that video to 50,000 views by this time next week, I'll carry it on. But if not, the Hawk promises never to do any more fantasy booking again. When the squad speak, I listen. Also, I've got a major video being released on Saturday. It's called And Then There Was a Ref Bump. And speaking of Russo, this is the most Russorific episode of Raw. See if you can keep up, because I sure struggled. It's Raw from the 24th of August 1998, and it's the How Bad Can It Be belt. Smack yourself one until it's felt. Raw is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, with Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary. The big storyline to start the show is that Kane and The Undertaker finally seem to be united after feuding. Before Taker can say anything, Vince McMahon makes his way out. He says it's great television to see Taker and Kane together. He also says he expects Taker to be the next WWF champion. Someone keeps shining a laser pen on Taker's face. What a dick. Vince McMahon seems to be jealous of Kane because he tells Taker he'll still need Vince's friendship too. Vince says, "You need to tell me if you're a friend or a foe." Paul Bearer's here now, looking annoyed. Bearer is on the verge of tears. There's something about this promo that feels cringy and dated. Bearer calls Kane's mother a sleazy whore. He wants Kane to be his friend. Bearer asks Kane to destroy The Undertaker. Instead, The Undertaker destroys Paul Bearer whilst Kane turns his back. Mankind rushes to the ring. He's currently tag team champions with Kane, but they must be tag team champions who don't get on, because Kane and Taker beat him up. They hit Mankind with the Spike Tombstone Piledriver. Vince says that now the only man left is Stone Cold Steve Austin, the WWF champion. Austin tries to come to the ring, but he's stopped by a wall of fireworks. He seems genuinely confused. Austin makes fun of them all when he confirms that he doesn't appreciate almost being set on fire. Austin admits that Taker and Kane are a problem, so he plans on taking one of them out tonight. At SummerSlam, he'll also burn The Undertaker's ass. Poor Taker and Kane, everyone got to talk except them, and they were here first. People can be selfish sometimes. And believe it or not, that's the first 15 minutes of the show done already. Everyone is confused why the Hell in a Cell is hung up. Nobody even knows if a match is meant to be taking place. The world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock, is here for the opening match. It's described as one of the most anticipated matchups in WWF history. Quick advert break first though to show Mankind has been taken to hospital. But this match is anticipated because Shamrock will be taking on his UFC rival Dan the Beast Severin. This is described as the third time they've faced off, so I guess this is the decider. So after all this hype, you'd think we're about to get something amazing. Severin immediately takes Shamrock down with a double leg and then he tries a spinning toe hold which Shamrock fights off. Shamrock with a single leg now and he wants a submission, but Severin also counters him. They both roll around on the floor cranking on each other's legs and they sit on the ropes looking confused. Severin decides this isn't working, he hits a powerbomb. He doesn't want the pin though. Severin gives him a front suplex now and screams with happiness. A fireman's carry takeover now. Shamrock's getting his ass handed to him. Ken Shamrock tries to get going with strikes which doesn't work as he's power slammed for a 2. I can't believe how one-sided this is. Severin with a high fireman's carry takeover now. Shamrock's trying to get a rest on the ropes when Owen Hart runs out and starts hitting him. Owen puts the Dragon Sleeper on when Steve Blackman runs out looking like the man. He bicycle kicks Severin to get rid of him. A fun 2-minute match, and I'm shocked how little Shamrock got in. I guess Shamrock was feeling the same way as me because he gives Blackman a belly to belly after the match. Blackman gets straight back up and gives him a belly to belly. Shamrock grits his teeth with anger and dumps in his nappy and the refs are running in fear. Shamrock has snapped. In the back, some geeks have been laid out and Mankind is pushing his own stretcher back into the arena. For no reason at all, he then rides the stretcher down the ramp. He's here to cut a promo. He will be facing Kane in the Hell in a Cell match tonight. Mankind admits that he's going to get his ass kicked tonight and he references his past Hell in a Cell match with Taker. He promises to climb to the top of the cage tonight. He says it won't be the first time he's had his ass kicked in Philadelphia, which gets an ECW chant from the crowd. Have a nice day, and he leaves. They spend a while now playing clips of Mankind and The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell to get us hyped for the match tonight. Massive change of direction now because Sable makes her way out. She's just here to introduce the giant Kurgan who's with the Oddities. Sable tries to dance with Luna but she looks a bit awkward. Kurgan will be taking on marvellous Mark Mero, but not quite yet because Mero will cut a promo. He tells Kurgan to fight him one-on-one and get rid of the Oddities to make it fair. And to be fair, they all leave. Kurgan is much bigger and stronger than Mero and he clotheslines him down. Kurgan dances at Sable, who hasn't been asked to leave because I guess she's not an official Odyssey. Mero tries some more strikes but it isn't working, and then Kurgan scoops him into a bear hug and hits the front slam. Then a Rasta has jumped Sable at ringside. In the meantime, Kurgan with a choke bomb. This all distracts Kurgan, so Mero smacks him in the slash zone and the match is thrown out for DQ. Mero leaves with the Rasta, who turns out to be Jackie. Luna rushes to the aid of Sable. It's funny watching them try and pretend to be friends. A terrible short match. Why did Jackie have to wear a Rasta hat and wig? What was the point in that? In the back, X-Pac has invited the cameraman to follow him. He proceeds to slash all over a wrestler's gear whilst giggling with happiness. I just can't go anywhere or watch anything anymore. I feel like I'm always being stalked by the owner of this wrestling gear. In the ring now, it's Southern Justice. You can hear someone yelling, "Hey!" Ross says, "Kill his mic." Now more screaming saying, "Hey Jerry," whilst they're trying to do adverts. The camera shows that a drunken Road Warrior Hawk has joined the commentary desk and he's trying to talk to Jerry Lawler about things that happened in the 80s. Southern Justice will be taking on the New Age Outlaws. Southern Justice are the former Godwins if you didn't know. But more delays before we can start the match because a wild Slapnuts appears.
Come on Jay! Jeff Jarrett!
He tries to cut a promo but his mic doesn't work. So instead he grabs the headset off a drunken Hawk and asks for X-Pac to come out. Jarrett is wearing piss-soaked boots and says, "Don't piss me off." How appropriate. We've got a match going on amongst all this chaos. Billy Gunn gets dropped on his face by Mark Canterbury. Midian follows up with an elbow for a 2. Once again there's zero focus on the match because there's so much happening at ringside. Billy Gunn does a move that the camera misses, but despite that Ross is still trying to convince us that it's an important match. Road Dogg with the shake, rattle and roll for a 2. Jeff Jarrett's hyping SummerSlam. How ironic. Now we get a split screen of Jarrett just standing around doing nothing. He has now said "Don't piss me off" 3 times. Midian suplexes Road Dogg. For some reason everyone starts glaring at Jarrett. Randomly Billy Gunn connects with a pile driver on Midian for the 3. Jarrett is pissed off and says now that bad match is over we need to get X-Pac out here. Jarrett and Southern Justice start beating up a cameraman. For some reason there are a pair of clippers and they shave off his greasy locks. Why did they have clippers at ringside? The cameraman is screaming. What the hell is happening? It's over. Now, I know this is to hype the fact that Jarrett and X-Pac are going to have a hair versus hair match, but this literally wasn't mentioned until after this happened. The big red machine's music now hits. This will be a Hell in a Cell match, but we're only halfway into the show. He's accompanied by The Undertaker. Mankind makes his way out, so I guess we really are having this Hell in a Cell match halfway into the show. Mankind wants to climb the cage, but the refs try to stop him, so he smacks them out. More refs come to stop him, and he slams the door into Kane's head several times. Mankind running knees Kane back into the cage. Foley grabs a chair now and tries to throw it on top of the cage. He tries twice but fails both times. The second attempt hits the King on commentary. Mankind is now climbing with The Undertaker giving chase. Taker pulls him backwards and throws him through the commentary desk. Ross questions if the match has even started. Well, I'm not sure either. Kane beats Mankind up around the cage. And for the first time, both men are now finally in the cage. Kane is using the ring steps as a weapon. Mankind tries to hide on the outside, which doesn't help because Kane dives on him. Kane throws the steps out the ring. I think he was aiming for Mankind, who dodged him. Mankind has a chair and he bends it around Kane's meathead. Foley wants to use the dumb tax now, but he's smashed out by Kane. Mankind doesn't give up and he hits Kane with a pulling pile driver. 3rd pile driver of the night for anyone who's keeping score at home. Kane no-sells that and he smashes Foley in the face of a chair. Kane with the choke slam now. Mankind back up, so Kane hits the tombstone pile driver for the 4th pile driver of the night. Undertaker motions for Kane to finish him off and he seems to accomplish that with 2 chair shots to the head. No, Mankind makes it back up again. Kane with the tombstone pile driver on the chair. Now he's down. Before the match can end, Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out from under the ring and he starts battering Kane. The ref has called for a DQ for some reason. Taker frantically tries to climb the cage to get Austin. Stunner on Kane now. Undertaker's stamping on the cell roof. Okay, what's your plan now, Taker? The cage starts rising up in the air. It's revealed that Vince McMahon is raising the cage because he doesn't want Austin and Taker to fight until SummerSlam. Another stunner from Austin to end this segment. This show is crazy. I've watched so much modern wrestling recently I've forgotten how crazy the WWF was in the late 90s. We come back from an advert break to see Taker and Kane are still in the cage. I guess Taker somehow teleported back in. He did have special powers after all. He calls Austin a coward for hiding under the ring. Before this night is over, he vows to kill Austin. Now Chyna is stomping out to the ring looking like a boss. Triple H has recently been beaten up by the Nation. The Rock, the IC champion, makes his way out to meet her. Other members of the Nation join him with a ladder. Chyna stands her ground and doesn't dump in her nappy. I recently watched this segment and let me tell you, it's an uncomfortable one. The Rock thinks this is a setup, but he's outsmarted DX because he's locked them in their locker room with a forklift. The Rock threatens Triple H for their match at SummerSlam. It'll be a ladder match if you hadn't guessed. He says he'll win it. He turns his attention back to Chyna and says that she's giving him the snake eyes and she's checking him out. He says she's sexually frustrated and says she needs to get some. And at 1:30 tonight, The Rock might be the man to give it to her. Chyna flips, so he tells the Nation to put Chyna on her knees where she belongs. The Rock starts insinuating that he's going to force his pebble into her mouth. An awkward silence falls over the arena. The Rock suddenly changes his mind and says there's no way he'd kiss a piece of trash like her. Instead, Mark Henry needs to know his damn role and kiss Chyna. He's flicking his tongue around, but before anything can happen, HBK rushes the ring with a chair. Never been so happy to see HBK in my life. Obviously, Chyna was previously aligned with Michael, so it all makes sense. DX are flipping out in the car park, but they can't find the Nation. Val Venus up next, and believe it or not, it's a match. His opponent would be Taka Michinoku, who doesn't get an entrance. Before this match can start, we get another promo. He has nothing interesting to say. Val seems to have the better of Taka, but he uses a speed game to hit a spin kick and a drop kick. Val is now on the outside where Taka hits him with an Acai moonsault. Taka tries another dive, but it doesn't work. This match is moving at a million miles an hour. Taka lands on his feet from a German suplex now, but he's immediately hit with a powerbomb. Val hits the money shot and he should have the match won, but Triple H is here with a chair and he beats everyone up. The game is pissed off at The Rock. He threatens The Rock for their SummerSlam match. There's no reason to take it on Val Venus, is there? Gangrel out now, who recently debuted in the WWF. At least he looks happy to be here. He'll face X-Pac. Gangrel jumps him during his entrance. Doesn't help him though, and X-Pac gives him a spinning heel kick. X-Pac tries to follow up, which is countered with a power slam. Pac's next kick is also countered into a sort of power bomb. Gangrel tries a headbutt, but he misses it. Pac with the spinning heel kick and kicks in the corner now, and there's the Bronco Buster. A wild Slapnuts appears for the second time tonight and he smacks X-Pac with the guitar. The rest of DX run him off. Another match that only went 2 minutes. To be fair, X-Pac deserved it, and I don't usually agree with the actions of Slapnuts. Edge is here now and he dives on Gangrel from the top rope. Gangrel is getting battered by Edge, who's snapped. Some geeks pull it apart and Gangrel gives Edge a lovely smile. Undertaker is pushing a casket through the corridor, but instead, up next it's the Brawl for All final. Bradshaw will face Bart Gunn. No one's trying any takedowns, which is a nice change of pace for this tournament. They smack the crap out of each other and eventually Bradshaw gets floored. I think I read they changed the rules for the final and it was just about punching, I might be wrong. Bradshaw makes his way back up, but he looks dazed. 2 more punches and Bradshaw is knocked out. The Comish team are raving that Bart Gunn has just made a career for himself, if only they were right. They replay Bradshaw getting knocked out about 5 times. Bet Bradshaw was dumping his nappy of anger for months after this. In the back, the typhoid-infested Badger interviews Vince McMahon. He says tonight he's going to get an answer for The Undertaker, friend or foe. Some holy chanting music starts playing for about 2 minutes. Some druids finally start pushing a coffin out. It's literally been going on for 5 minutes by the time The Undertaker's here. He threatens Stone Cold for a while before Vince McMahon interrupts him. Vince wants to know if they're friends or not. God, he's needy. Taker chokeslams him, so I guess they aren't friends. Then Austin emerges from the casket and taunts Vince. So did Taker know he was in there all along, or I don't know. Then Kane emerges from the same casket. What? Austin grabs a chair, but he doesn't do anything. A path of fire follows Austin up the ramp. Pretty sure he treads in it. What a weird show with a weak ending. And that is it, my little friends. That was a true example of how crazy the WWF was during the Attitude Era. Now you might think that was bad, but bear in mind, they won the Monday Night Wars. It felt like there were about 3 storylines running together in each segment. Whilst I agree with giving everyone a story, it was just too much. I could barely focus on something happening before something else happened. And if you like your in-ring product, this certainly wasn't the show for you. Nearly all the matches only went 2 minutes long, some less. Maybe most people had ADHD back in the 90s and they needed constant things happening during their wrestling. It's probably why I almost fell asleep during The Undertaker's Druid entrance. But was it bad enough to win the How Bad Can It Be belt? Well, that's difficult because the star power alone on this show is enough to blow most shows out of the water, even if it was a weird episode. Nah, it wasn't as bad as the Nitro episode when I think about it. That had a complete lack of stars on that Nitro and the focus on David Arquette made it unbearable. This did keep my attention, although what I actually watched is still a mystery to me at this point. So no change of title for the How Bad Can It Be belt, smack yourself one until it's felt. Anyway, as I said, just a short video today because something major is coming up on Saturday. I hope you like a ref bump, and if you don't, I'll give you a thump.